Hello everyone, so picking off where we last were, I will talk to Minfilia to pick up the next main scenario quest, and this actually begins the, well, you kind of saw in one of the cutscenes that there's a new primal that's awakened, and that's kind of the prelude slash, well, post quests of A Realm Reborn, and prelude to the Heavensward expansion. And so, talking to Minfilia. And as you can see, we actually have two quests, and that one's a side quest kind of thing, but I think it's going to probably be required at some point. So anyway, the price of principles. Minfilia appears to be lost in thought. Celebrian? It pleases me to see you well. Hi, Tataru. Do excuse me for interrupting, Celebrian. My lady, the gentleman from Ashgana Exports has just left. I understand now why you didn't want to receive him. You do well, Tataru. Please inform the guards that we will not be receiving any further guests this morning. Thank you, milady. Ever since we defeated Gaius van Belsair, I can never say his last name properly, or title, whatever, anyway, and destroyed his ultimate weapon, the eyes of the world have followed our every move, scarce remembering to blink. Where once we worked in secret with precious few friends and all too many enemies, we are now besieged by benefactors, each one more eager than the last to offer us his complete support. A true embarrassment of riches. Of course, every promise of patronage comes with a price. Some make their intentions known from the start, while others endeavor to engage us more subtly. Trust it how they will, the message is ever the same. We shall help you, but only if you help us. The gentleman Tataru spoke of was more brazen than most. In exchange for certain supplies, he would have us resolve a business dispute. Naturally, I refused him, as I have every other merchant of his ilk. Alas, the Syndicate's overtures are not so easily rejected. When we formed the Signs of the Seventh Dawn, it was with the goal of serving Eorzea, not the interests of individual Eorzeans. Our neutrality is fundamental in our cause. In my heart, I know this to be true, and yet, if accepting these offers of patronage could empower us to do greater good, might they not warrant greater consideration? Our Valdisian colleagues have been generous beyond measure, but we cannot expect them to... Forgive me, I did not mean to burden you so. No worries. Yet, my urge to share this dilemma may not be wholly misguided. Might I impose upon you to consult the others? They are like to have their own opinions on this matter. And so, I guess we need to speak to Yushtola, Thancred, Papalamo, Yida, and Urianger, as is listed here. And I will pick up the other quest from Minfilia. Minfilia has need of your talents for a re-emerging primal problem. I know you have scarce had a chance to rest, but I am afraid there is still work to do. The Ultima weapon's destruction, 'twould seem, has served to embolden the beastmen, who now seek to call down their gods once more. Even as we speak, the Amalja, the Ixal, and Kobolds are making preparations for their respective summoning rites, and that is but the half of it. Much to our dismay, all three tribes were somehow able to procure vast quantities of crystals. Oh, my turn to say something? Ahem! Basically, this means the primals will be stronger than they were before. Far, far stronger. Their previous incarnations will seem as pale imitations. The beast tribes, we believe, began hoarding crystals with a vengeance in the wake of the Ultima weapon's maiden appearance. You will remember that as the time it devoured 3 primals in one sitting. The Grand Companies are aware of the potential primal outbreak. Alas, due to the losses they incurred to ensure the success of Operation Archon, they are ill-equipped to take on meaningful measures. After deliberation, the leaders concluded that they must needs turn to us once more. To thee. The etheric waves that were observed in Mordona do not appear to bear any connection to any beast tribe, yet much and more still remains beyond our knowing. We must be prepared for all possibilities. I am loath to send you into the midst of danger again so soon, but none have proven themselves more capable against the primals than you. Will you undertake this mission, Celebrian? Yep. You have my thanks. I truly do not know what we would do without you. Go ahead, Thancred. Ahem. With circumstances as they were, I haven't had the chance to properly express my gratitude. I owe you my life, Celebrian. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. The string of failures had left me feeling powerless. I wanted to be stronger, that I might do right by my fellow Scions. But instead I caused you all no end of grief and suffering. I swear to you, it shan't happen again. Owing to everyone's ministrations, I am quite recovered now. I hope to return to my duties again soon. Thancred's return marks the beginning of a new chapter for the Scions. Let us renew the fire in our hearts and continue to press ever forward. Now then, back to the matter of the primals. With no fewer than 3 of the beings threatening to appear, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. We must take it one sure step at a time. Urianger has the overview of the situation as it stands. Please speak with him to receive guidance on your mission. And so obviously we need to speak to Urianger, but I will speak with him last, as I need to speak with him for the other quest as well. I'm guessing they're all over here. Aha. They are indeed. Y'shtola. Recall you are meeting with the Admiral shortly after the Limson sent word of the summoning of Titan? Then mayhap you also recall my words to our host. I said unto Merlwib that her people had broken their treaty with the kobolds, and that the beastmen had justly responded, that we had been called to intervene in a conflict which she herself had invited. I spoke, in short, the truth. And wherefore did I speak it? Because owing no allegiance to Limsa, I felt no compulsion to allow the Limsons to distort the facts to fit a narrative which justified their actions and absolved them of guilt. Upon the subject, Minfilia can expect a similar reply. Our many dalliances with the city-states have already weakened our claim to neutrality, but the path she contemplates would see us relinquish it entirely. And the Thancred. Fortune begets power, and power fortune. That we, and especially you, have power is beyond doubt. The question is what to do with it. You may be interested to know that there is a growing belief amongst the refugees that Alamigo could be liberated, if only the Scions would commit their strength to the cause. Yet theirs is but one of the many causes. We stand at a crossroads, Celebrian. Each path is paved with good intentions, but where they lead is far from clear. Papalamo. None can deny that we would benefit from more support, but if it comes to the cost of our principles... Neutrality was ever a delicate matter. I have lost count of the times I've had to explain to people that our allegiance need not necessarily lie in the same place as our headquarters. Mind you, if we are to sell our services for Gil, we might as well declare our fealty to Ulda now, and have done with it. I'm quite sure Yida would enjoy the bribes. Yida. I've been receiving a lot of gifts lately, but Papalamo makes me send them back. It wouldn't be so bad, but some of them are really nice. I mean, very nearly abandon your principles nice, you know? And dear Yanjay, such knowledge as I possess of the beast tribes and their primals is at thy disposal. Whether man or beastman, we are wont to seek power when it plunged into the back depths of despair. That despair doth begin with the Amlajah, who may have already summoned forth Ifrit. With our comrade Thancred now returned, thou wouldst to do well to seek his counsel. And that was for the other quest, and for the main scenario quest. 'Tis the lot of the powerful to attract covetous as well as the needy. Thus doth prudence dictate that those with power proffer aid with one hand, whilst the other resteth ever on their hilt. Alas, we have not the luxury of time to decipher a petitioner's machinations, nay, no, while the... machinations, whatever. Nay, not while the beast tribes do labor unseen, defiant in defeat, to raise up their fallen primals once more. Doubt not that they shall return, stronger and bolder both, nor that we shall be the ones to meet them. This sacred charge shall ever be ours. 'Tis but a pity we are so few, and our fortune so finite. And Thancred has the quest for us for the continuation of the next bit. And Thancred wants you to vanquish Ifrit and has information that will help you to arrange an encounter. Confirmation has just arrived from the Immortal Flames. 'Tis as Uranger said, I fear the Amlajah have already summoned Ifrit. A confrontation with the Lord of Inferno is inevitable. I would like nothing more than to lend you my blade, but the students of Beldessian insisted that I refrain from taking to the field where it concerns primals. I know not the workings of it, but it would seem that recent events have left me especially susceptible to tempering. As much as I hate missing out on the fun, for everyone's sake, I must sit this one out. Instead, I will focus on gathering and analyzing data. Now, the Immortal Flames have already conducted a preliminary investigation into Ifrit. They may well have information that will be of use to you. Do pay a visit to the Hall of Flames and speak with Commander Swift. One last thing before you depart. Doubtless you remember Minfilia's words, but this Ifrit is a far cry from the primal you first defeated. You will want to assemble your most dependable comrades for the mission. Be safe, my friend. And so we need to speak to Elfino. And obviously we need to go to Thanalan for that. Elfino. The situation is not wholly unexpected. I too have given much thought to our organization's future, though it would seem that I have reached a different conclusion. Mayhap it is time I made my feelings known to the antecedent. Come along, Slabrian. As my gear morphs out of my shield. Elfino, Slabrian, is aught amiss? You desired counsel, and so you shall have it, Minfilia. Minfilia, the Signs of the Seventh Dawn must leave Ul'dah. We must do what? So long as we remain within Ul'dah territory, we will never be free to act with impunity. Moving our headquarters to Vesper Bay only delayed the inevitable. We have demonstrated our capabilities, and the Syndicate has taken note. They will not suffer our organization to remain independent now. We are far too dangerous for that. Surely you realize the reason Vesper Bay still lacks an aetheryte? They know full well how beneficial one would be to our cause, which is why it and other favors will be denied us unless we cooperate. If Ul'dah is no longer suitable, where would you have us go? Experience has taught us that the appearance of neutrality is as important as the reality. Accordingly, we must keep each of the great nations at arm's length and plant our banner in a place which all agree to be beyond their borders. Mordona. Revenant's Toll, to be precise, it lies within neutral territory and offers all the essential facilities we require. By way of an additional benefit, it is also frequented by a veritable legion of adventurers who may serve to supplement our ranks. I am, of course, conscious of the fact that we've developed a certain bond with Ulda and her people over the years, but I truly believe this to be the best course of action. As you yourself observed, we have invaluable ties to the local community, forged through years of concerted effort. Ulda is our home, Alphino. To cast aside everything we have built and start anew in the desolate wasteland would be beyond reckless. The decision is yours to make, Antecedent. I ask only that you recall the shared purpose which first moved us to found the Signs of the Seventh Dawn, and which moved you to found the Path of the 12 ere that. We aspire to an ideal, you and I, just as my grandfather did. That makes us more than mere comrades in arms. We are as much your family as... That will be all, Alphino. I'm sure you have some familial affairs of your own to attend to. Your concern is most generous, but no, I have left them to the hands of men better suited to the task than I. I could not very well allow my personal affairs to come before the needs of the Order, after all. Okay. Testy, testy, testy. And we need to speak with Minfilia, but afterwards I'm going to equip that first. Minfilia. Once again, Minfilia appears to be lost in thought. Leave Ulda? Has it truly come to this? Oh, Celebrian, pray attend to Alphino. He is engaged in some business of other and requires your assistance. Pray be on your way. Alphino waits upon you, and I have much to think about. Oh, and tell him he shall have my answer in due time. Okay. And before I forget, so as you see in the duty finder, we have the Castrum Meridianum and the Praetorium here. Well, now that we have done them, we also have access to this duty roulette main scenario, which requirement is level 50. And the only two dungeons that you'll ever have in there is Castrum Meridianum and the Praetorium. And as you can see, there's a pretty significant boost to experience and gil earned by doing these, and also a really big boost of elegant tombstones of poetics. And once I've talked to Alphino, I'm going to head to, well, I might head to Mordona just to show you the poetics, what the poetics can get. And before that also, in the, so here, the party and party finder, you will see, as I think I mentioned this before, you have all this here, but, so I had mentioned that if you try to just queue in the duty finder for Castrum Meridianum and for the Praetorium, it might take you a really long time. So it's sometimes better to actually recruit the members and actually select dungeons, and you see the Praetorium, the Castrum Meridianum, and then make a comment saying clear for main scenario quest or something like that, and you usually get people to join fast. And you don't necessarily, well, you're going to want to have that because of the dungeon and it being synced, because I don't think you can do it unsynced. And then you can playstyle and the other features, blah 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 blah, that sort of stuff. So if you're not able to get a company party beforehand, that's a good choice to try to get a party. Otherwise, you could try queuing. For whatever reason, your server might actually be significantly faster than ours. And by ours, I mean Marlborough. But generally speaking, they're usually really long queues, especially if you're a DPS, because DPS is so easy to find. If you're a tank or a healer, you're a commodity, basically. Anyhow, so the length of the video, the last video, was so long that I decided not to show that then, and was actually supposed to show you in the first beginning part of this video, but I forgot. And there's also a host of various quests all throughout various parts of Eorzea. And we also have access to 3 more classes. So we have access to Samurai now, and Red Mage, and we actually have access to Blue Mage now. Blue Mage is part of, if you have only have a Realm Reborn, you'll have access to this. If you don't have Heavensward, I think Red Mage is Heavensward, and because I have Stormblood, I also have access to Samurai. Anyhow, Elfino. Confound it, she knows what must be done, and still she hesitates. All because of these fanciful rumors. I should explain. Menphilia's mother, well, adoptive mother, was among the great many who perished during the calamity. Fleamhammon was her name, though you may know her better as the songstress of Ulda. She was a performer of singular talent and much beloved by the people of Eorzea, not to mention a certain Charlian minstrel. As you may imagine, the news of her passing was greeted with shock and disbelief by her adoring followers, many of whom refused to acknowledge what had happened. That her body was never found only served to encourage speculation. Menphilia, too, struggled at first to accept the truth, but as Flimmin's absence stretched from months into years, she saw that there would be no other explanation. Until recently, at any rate, for whatever reason, rumors have once again begun to circulate that Flimmin is alive and well. Alas, they have started to rekindle an irrational hope in Menphilia, which now clouds her judgment. This talk of Ulda as her home and of the insurmountable difficulties of moving to Mordona, it is no more than an expression of her unwillingness to let go. Nonsense, in a word. But until the tales of Flimmin's miraculous preservation have been categorically disproved, I fear she will remain lost to reason. That being the case, I propose we set about disproving them post-haste. Let's see how these fanciful claims stand up to investigation. One of the most recent of this latest crop of rumors comes to us by way of Father Elude. Question him for me, and I shall look into other alleged sighting and follow anon. But first, I am going to go to Mordona. And then I'm going to go to Thanolin to speak with Swift at the Hall of Flames. And then I will speak to Father Elude at Camp Drybone. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of quests here. I'm not going to pick those up just yet since this was a detour. And obviously, if we do head into Mordona as the Scions, we'll end up over here anyway. So, as you can see, there is a whole bunch of people here. So we have Alina here and Arena, and I think it's Arena. And as you can see, Ironworks gear. Well, this is for your weapon, so just an example of what the Paladin's weapon looks like. That's what it is. And if you didn't see that, I will have it on this side. Kind of folds out there. Anyway, so there's that. And then Arena here actually has, so the Disciple of War, DOW, Disciple of Magic, DOM, Special Arms, Other, and Tombstone of Creation Exchange, but you don't need to worry about that. So in the Special Arms, you'll see various things. I believe these are for other crafting stuff. The special... Oops. That's the Special Arms. The Other is for the weapon and various other things. And as you can see, some minions, which makes me wonder if I actually have those. But anyway, so Disciple of War. You see we have a shield here. block strength is actually worse than what we currently have, because I bought this shield, and you can see here its block strength is 325 and block rate is 135, and you can see the other stats for this. So in this case, what we currently have is pretty much on par with what we already have. So we will probably be looking into this gear here. And as you can see, the costs range. So most of your main gear, so like your pants, your chest piece, and well, I guess it's just pants and chest piece. That's kind of surprising that they're pretty expensive in comparison. And then the rest are kind of accessories that are not as important. So your pants and your chest piece are. And so this is what the chest piece looks like, and I meant to hit that. So we'll probably go ahead and get that. I am likely going to actually glamour it, but as you can see, that'll leave us with 190, and I'm actually going to go ahead and grab the belt, I believe, yes. And so the reason why, so for example, what we currently have equipped, so you see the item level is 90, and you can see that just above the green text that says item level 90. Well, the Ironworks gear is item level 120, and so this will get you roughly to about, well, I kept these equipped to about level 55, and then used the augmented version from 55 to 60. Some people might disagree with this. There's going to be better gear along the way during the quest lines. And then once you get to level 60, likewise with Poetics, you'll be able to get a different gear set called Shire gear. But we have a long ways to go before we can get that. And so we don't need to worry about that for quite some time. So in the meantime, I will be collecting the Poetics for my Paladin in particular. And I will be, what else will I be doing? It will be taking me at some time, so if you actually look in your log here, as you can see, Praetorium gives you 200 Poetics, Meridianum gives you 200 Poetics, so on and so forth. And if you're not sure if you've collected them, because you can only get the reward once, I believe, or it's once per day, I could be mistaken, there'll be a check mark at the top there. As you can see, we haven't done this dungeon. And usually the first time dungeon will reward you some. So if you happen to, for example, do the main scenario roulette, and someone else hadn't done it yet, and just how happens to queue you with those people who are new and haven't done Praetorium or Castor Meridianum, you will also get a bonus because they're new and you're basically helping someone new without even knowing that you're helping someone who's new. And it usually tells you at the beginning of the dungeon of whether or not someone in that dungeon hasn't cleared it yet, which is helpful in case you need to teach them about anything in particular. And without any further ado, before I ramble on more about Poetics, there is definitely more information on various pages throughout either the lodestone for Final Fantasy XIV itself, or with the Wikipedia page, or others. So, I also worked on the not that. What am I looking for? This Flame Corporal now in our ranks with the Grant Company. And in order to get Flame Sergeant 3rd class, I actually need to finish the hunt log, and as you can see, I'm not done the hunt log because I was working on my ninja, and as you can see, it's level 48. And I was working on the hunt log as a ninja class, so can't quite use ninja, but if there's any fighting quests that we go through today, I will probably use my ninja to try to get it to level 50, because then I can. Corporal Saragon, we thank you for coming. The fine general will be certain to hear that you have answered the call. As we have already relayed to the Waking Sands, Ifrit is returned. For the sake of peace in the region, we humbly request that you vanquish him. The primal is to be found in his domain, the Bowl of Embers. To get there, you must use the Beastman Aetherite found within the depths of the rock, the Almoja stronghold. The Almoja have constructed their own Aethernet from salvaged Aetherite shards. This being the case, you should be able to use it without problem. No doubt you already know this from your fellow Scions, but the present incarnation of Ifrit is far stronger than the last. Facing him with any fewer than 7 of your stoutest comrades will be ill-advised. That is all the intelligence we have to share. The rest is in your hands. I shall pray for your victory and safe return. So, before we actually get there, and spoiler, we will have access to, shoot, I can't remember what it's called. Let's see. I'll look it up. So the Bowl of Embers, and it'll be Bowl of Embers, and then parentheses, hard. So, another difficulty level of that. And then we also have a quest here, or this is for Samurai, another quest here, sorry, that's over there. And since we're here, I will actually pick these up, and then a quest over there, and then Red Mage is over here, and I don't think we have any other quests on that side, but well done, Citizen. And as you can see, the Solo Samurai, Mithrite, Chikenta, and Nameless Armor Recovered. Nuldan's Citizen is ripe to burst with excitement, and seeks a hapless passerby among whom to unburden himself. This quest will unlock the Samurai job. Now normally you don't have this at this point, you don't have the Stormblood expansion, so with like the upcoming expansion that's coming, Shadowbringers, if you actually purchase this, or pre-order this, you will have access to all of the previous expansions, and the base game once it's available or something like that. The details are with the pre-order pages and all that stuff. Anyhow. Balls, just when you think you've seen it all, the world's full of surprises. What am I talking about, you ask? Oh, nothing much. Just the most amazing blade work I've ever seen. It wasn't even the main card either, but light entertainment. A far eastern fellow, old enough to be my grandfather, appeared and called for challengers, but who should answer him but a brute of gladiator? People thought it was either mummery or a sick joke. After all, what could one expect from such a mismatch? The old and infirm versus the young and inform. But when the action began, the old man proceeded to drop everyone's jaws. His opponents, not least of all, with his blistering blade work. The most riveting moment, though, was when he had the challenger on the back foot, where instead of finishing the job, he went and sheathed his blade. Putting your steel away from the heat of battle, well, that's akin to committing suicide. This wasn't lost on the gladiator, who lunged in with a mighty swing. The spectators gasped collectively, thinking it was over, and it was, but not for the old man. For the next instant, before anyone could comprehend what had happened, his opponent was crumpled on the ground. In one fell stroke, and with impossible speed, the old man had drawn his sword and dealt the telling blow. A few heartbeats passed in stunned silence. Then the stands erupted in righteous cheering. Just recounting it gives me chills. The speed, the precision, the elegance, simply sublime. How is it possible I have never heard of these far eastern warriors, these samurai? Wait, are you thinking what I think you're thinking? And you want to face the old man? Well, that silver-tongued showmaster was looking for a new challenger, but you don't want to do this. Let someone else be the fool. And as you heard the music for the quest accepting, that's actually for Stormblood quests, as indicated. And so you will unlock the various classes there. when we get to them. But first we'll speak with Wymond. An old acquaintance of Wymond is at wit's end, and the businessmen would have you help her. I hear you've been busy as a bee, Celebrian. Seems half the whispers that what come my way relate to your comings and goings. Being the active type you are, I reckon you'd be interested in investigating some queer rumors, am I right? But before that, let me ask, ever heard of a man named Hildebrand? Yes? Oi, and you don't mean to say you knew the bugger? I know he thought himself famous, was thinking that it didn't make it true. Shame that he had to go on and get himself killed. All that nonsense about stop and Dalmood himself. What in the Seven Hills was he thinking? At least it was mercifully quick. Still, judging from the depths of the crater, he must have fallen from an unfathomable height. Gods only know what was going through his mind as he watched the ground rush up to meet him. Sure. Amazing how well the body was preserved, though. Hells, it's amazing there was a body left to bury at all. I had reason for bringing this up. Right, so Nashu, Hildebrand's erstwhile assistant, has since become an inspector in her own right. At present, she's investigating the queer rumors I mentioned earlier. She's a sweet lass, a bit daft, but sweet nonetheless. So when I hear she's at wit's end, I want to help. Thing is, I prefer to meddle in the affairs of the living. Zombies are most definitely not my forte. So if you're willing, I'd be grateful if you lent her a hand. As for where to find her, she is like to visit Hildebrand's grave in the leech yard when she's frustrated. Try looking for her there first. So that's over in Camp Drybone area also, so conveniently, that's where we're going to be heading soon. And that chain of quests that ensues, spoiler, chain of quests, actually ends up being one of my favorite side story quests in the game, and I'll get more into that when we get to that. Peo Rayo looks as though he has seen a ghost. Wah! Huh? Why, you're Celebrian Saragon, the famous adventurer. Thank the gods for bringing you here. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Peo Rayo, one of the many faceless adventurers struggling to make their way in Eorzea. Forgive me, I sound bitter. I don't begrudge you your renown. Your superiority as an adventurer was obvious to me long before you became a household name. Our paths crossed near Sestasha, you see. Hard to believe we moved in similar circles back then. Speaking of which, do you perchance remember having met a conjurer named Etta around the time? We used to be adventurer together, she and I, and two others. Our little group didn't last very long, though. Things fell to pieces when Aver, our leader and Ada's fiancé, met his end in the Tomataro Deepcroft. Harsh words were exchanged, and we all went our separate ways. Since then, I've been getting by on my own. Truth be told, I hadn't planned on seeing any of my former comrades again. But then this letter arrived from Ada, containing an invitation to her wedding. What? Now, I know what you're thinking. I should be happy for her. And I was, until I noticed the name of her groom-to-be. It was none other than Avir. What's more, the venue for the ceremony is to be in the Tomataro Deepcroft. The very place the poor fellow died. Something isn't right, I tell you. Yeah, but that doesn't sound right. Now, in the letter, Ida wrote that the Lyavine, that's the fourth member of our group, had already agreed to attend. They chanced to meet each other recently, from what I could gather. Not knowing what to make of it all, I thought it wise to consult Lyavine about the whole strange affair before replying. But last I heard, she joined the Signs of the Seventh Dawn, and I didn't have the first idea how to go about tracking her down. Not until the greatest sign of them all appeared, that is. Could you tell me where I might find her? Yep. In the leech yard of the Church of Saint Adama Landama. I'm sorry, I don't... Slain in an imperial raid, you say? By the 12, I had no idea. When did this happen? While the Black Wolf still lived? Then, how could it be that Livian met Etta recently? Gods, I don't know what to believe. If it isn't too much to ask, I would be most grateful if you show me Lieven's grave. We didn't always see eye to eye, but she had a good heart, and if she's truly... Sniff. Well, I need to pay my respects. Please meet me at the leech yard. Dun dun. And as you can see, all those quests lead to the same area. Conveniently. And... I can't remember why, but I don't think I had originally picked up all the... It's Sweltzwegger person thingy... Farmer... Sultan Sworn. Just kidding. Anyway. Oh, and as you can see, I still haven't put stuff on the market board. I will get that to it eventually. And obviously we have a quest there for the samurai, but since I'm over on this side, I will speak to Distraught Lass first. Distraught Lass. A distraught lass seeks a savior for her sister, and soul red mage, mithrite, blah 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 blah. Oh, are you an adventurer? Please, you have to rescue my sister. Some horrible people tried to kidnap us just outside the city gates. I managed to break free when a traveler stopped to help, but my sister never caught up to me. And I will save her. You will? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Please hurry through the gates here and just keep going straight ahead. You're sure to find them. The traveler was some sort of mage, I think, but it was 1 against 6. Surely he can't stand against so many. Oh, I keep saying Heavensward. That was the music for Stormblood. That's confusing. I'm confused. And... what I didn't get to show in the last video, our mount. And yes, it has the sticker tattoo thingy. And pretty music, so I'll shush so you can hear it. Although, our quest is right here, so I'll have that being used some other time. Don't touch me. Oh, you're not one of them. And who might you be? Our little sister is safe. Oh, thank goodness. You came to lend your aid? My apologies. Had I but known, I would have spared you a villain or two. After all, you seem to share my distaste for those who would prey upon defenseless children. Aye, birds of a feather are we? I am Zurintia, a pilgrim of sorts. Might I know your name, friend? Slevrian. Now why does that strike such a familiar chord? Excuse me, I just wanted to thank you for saving me. Please, my pleasure, child. You are unharmed, yes? Good. Let us escort this brave lass to her sister, then. Lead the way. He says while I'm behind him. And so... well-dressed lass. Thank you again for coming to my rescue. Zurintia. The sisters are reunited. You have done a good deed this day, friend. You found her, adventurer. Thank you. We are very grateful for your kindness. I was so scared. What did those terrible people want with us? You needn't worry about them anymore, sister. The man in red defeated them all. You saw how he fought, with spells and steel. He's one of those heroes Papa told us about. A crimson duelist. Aren't you? Ha! I did not expect to hear that name this far south into Eorzea. Then you are a crimson duelist. I knew it! If your papa is telling his daughter's tales of red mages, then he must be from El Amigo, yes? Well, that would explain his choice of bedtime stories. Now, shall we see you lasses home? We'll be all right from here. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And away they skip, safe and sound. Now, stubborn was it not? I believe you've earned ourselves a celebratory drink. You need not feel compelled, my friend. Should the mood strike you, however, you find me staying over at Blackbrush Station. I find the ale served at the Coffer and Coffin most agreeable. And so that's over there. But we won't get to... Actually, no, we might as well. Me and my I was going to teleport there. Now would be a good time to actually show them out in the music, right? Right? That's what I thought. So I'm not too concerned about doing this out of order in terms of what you have access to and what you don't have access to, because if you have this game, odds are you're most likely going to have all of the... I'm going the wrong direction. Have all the expansions already. So you'll have access to these just the same as I do right now. In fact, you might end up having more access to things if you happen to be watching this after Shadowbringers is released. As per usual, I'm gonna hop up onto the roof because why not? So that was a bit of music, and of course the step print thingies are very loud, so... But there will be other chances to hear that music without all that noise. Ah, you came. As it so happens, the mother of those girls tracked me down and insisted I accept a reward. Once I mentioned you might be stopping by, she left a token of gratitude for you as well. It seems we've assisted an affluent merchant family, a revelation which might explain the attempted kidnapping. Hefty ransom and all that. I'm told the girls were immediately assigned a capable bodyguard. However, so we can drink in peace, knowing they are well protected. Oh, I've remembered whence I know your name. I learned of you first from a young lass named Alice, whom I met upon the road. She expressed an admiration for your growing exploits, even as she persuaded me to teach her the basics of red magery. She proved a quick study in the arcane side of things, but fencing was something of a challenge. By the end of our lessons, however, she had learned to combine spellcraft with swordplay, when to cast from afar, and when to lunge forward with a well-timed thrust. And what of you, my friend? Have you any interest in the art? I suspect you would make an exceptional red mage. What? I am deadly serious. A woman who would rush to the aid of a strange child without fear or hesitation is a woman I would trust with the power of red mage, or magic, but even beyond that. I sense in you a kindred spirit. Be warned, however, that my style of teaching is a practical one. I will expect you to join me on my journey and assist me in aiding others. I accept those terms and will bestow upon you the accoutrements of Red Mage. Are you familiar with soul crystals? This particular stone is attuned to past wielders of red magics and will fill your mind with a firm foundation of technique. You need only reach forth your hand. And so then you get to decide whether or not you want to be a red mage or not, and are you prepared to walk the path of a red mage? One word and the soul crystal shall be yours. You will not regret this decision, my friend. God's above, for a moment there I thought you meant to refuse me. A host of red mages committed their memories to this gem. Now it is yours. Observe the knowledge it contains, then we will discuss the finer points of red magic. But first I should give you that reward. And here we get the souls of the red mage, the main hand for the red mage, and also attire for the red mage. Really didn't think red mage was Stormblood. But anyway, so first thing that I'm gonna do is use this, and so most of the gear should end up in my inventory. And then I'm going to make room for this main hand. Once I find something I can get rid of. Well, I guess I'll just move the Carnage Sword there for now, because clearly not using it anymore. So anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is move this back over there, but the first thing I'm going to do is equip the... Oh. We don't have enough room. What do we have enough room for? Boots, apparently. Well, I don't need those in there since I have some already. Let's try that again. There we go. And equip. And here we go. We have the basic gear and also the red mage gear. And before I do anything, like before, I'm going to make this a new class, and it shall sit there, I think is where it sits, I don't know, or it's after Arcanus, so yes, right there. I knew that. And so, Red Mage. And I'm not going to go through this because I don't understand that very well myself, because I'm still a pretty pathetic red mage at the current moment. But yes. And I'm just gonna adjust these for a little bit here, and don't forget to equip these. And as you can see, red mage starts at level 50. Why did I think it started at level 30? Alright. And speaking with the Crimson Duelist again, Xurin wishes to teach you the origins of red magic. Ah, I see from the glint in your eye that the soul crystal has surrendered its secrets. Welcome to the ranks of the red mages. The art we practice is born of noble origin. Its balanced and control energies were once used to stem the tide of destruction and reclaim a future for the dispossessed. I speak of the age some 1500 years past, when the clash of two sorcerous civilizations brought about the Sixth Umbral Calamity. Ere the great floods rose, people fled from their homes and into the mountains of Girabani. Even mages of Loch and Amtapor were to be found amongst the refugees. These wizardly practitioners became targets of retribution for the part of they played in upsetting the natural balance, and soon did they shed their robes of black and vestments of white. If people were to survive and rebuild following the disaster, however, they would need the power of the arcane. Thus were the principle of black and white magery reinvented, and upon their combined foundation, an entirely new discipline was built, red magic. But I have prattled about the history of it for long enough. Far better that you experience red magic firsthand. There remains the mystery of who sent kidnappers after those poor girls, and I have a feeling attempts to unearth the culprit will provide the battle practice you require. Before we plunge into the fray, however, there are questions I would ask. Come with me to Eastern Thanalan to the Church of St. Adama Landama. And that's also why I decided to pick up this quest, and as you can see, there is this balance gauge, which I will move down there. And I am going to shrink it inside a bit. And maybe a little bit more. Okay, that's good enough. And smush it down again. There we go. And so with that done, I need to go into Ul'dah over there. So I will switch back to my gladiator. And I will run through the door. And head back into Ul'dah. And so I need to head this way. And I'll head just past the gladiator room. Outside of it is where we need to pick up that quest. Or is it in it? We will see shortly. It's funny how I mentioned the Shire gear, because that Lalafell that you saw just a moment ago was actually wearing the Shire gear for the Arcanist, I believe. Or Summoner. I think that was Summoner. Which is Arcanist, but is the... Oh, I guess right here is where we need to speak. Summoner is one of the classes, aside from Scholar. There's Arcanist class, and then there's Summoner and Scholar, which are the jobs for Arcanist. Anyway, Silver-tongued Showmaster. Come one, come all, and marvel at a mystery of the Far East. A swordsman hailing from exotic Hingashi, whose blade work is quicker than the eye can see. Don't let this Don't let his age fool you. Old though he may be, he's already made short work of one of Ul'dah's meanest gladiators, and he now seeks a new challenger. If you can best him, you'll be rewarded with a rare Hingan treasure. There's just one condition. You must fight with the same blade as the old man's. If you think you have what it takes, proceed to the Gladiators Guild and make yourself known to the Far Eastern Elder. And someone's dancing in the air with Moogle slippers. We need to head over this way. This aura, unusual yet undoubtedly formidable. Dare I hope a worthy challenger has come? Well met, friend. I am Musasai, a samurai of Hingashi. Musosai. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. Lest you wonder, samurai are swordsmen of the Far East. Yet know that the swords we wield are unlike those of this land. Katana they are called, and for our duel I shall lend you such a blade, along with a stone, a talisman of sorts. Wear them on your person and you shall become one of us, at least in appearance if not in sooth. And here we get the soul, a katana, or Yuchi-katana, I'm the right one, and nameless armor copper. And obviously, once again, I need to make room in my inventory, so I will do that too. And samurai unlocked. So, I will go ahead and empty... Oops, wrong button. This is the button I'm looking for. And I need room in this part of my inventory. And let's see, what can I get rid of? I can get rid of this because I no longer need that. Because my ninja is well past that level. So I will go ahead and place that in there. And I will open this. And... not sure... this is full. So I will move this out because I'm not going to use that one. And this I will move. That out. Because I don't think I need those anymore. Not yet. Or all. Let's see. I probably do need to use those, but I have this one too, so that's level 23. This is what, level 20. So I'll just have to use that for a little bit longer. Anyway, alright, so I will go ahead and equip the katana and assign all that. Nope, I do not want that. I want to create a new one. Samurai. And apparently I moved something that my poo list does not have access to, and that's why there's this. One or more items did not have this specified appearance. That could be because I glamorized something. Or I got rid of something. But anyway, so samurai on the list is after ninja, so it goes right there. And yes, those are very confusing. Anyhow, so you can see there's these up here, and I will go ahead and move those. I'm actually gonna leave those as big as they are, even though I really don't need to, but anyway, send gauge, and I won't go through this. You can just pause the video, and yeah. And again, don't forget to add these to the list. Alrighty, I think I have that as I want it. Musosai regards you with a piercing gaze. Ah yes, in your gaze I see the stirrings of a newborn samurai. 'Tis plain the stone has already bequeathed some of its memories unto you. Yet, having the memories is one thing, mastering them quite another. We shall see how well you fare against me. Prepare yourself, young samurai. We begin as soon as you are ready. And you have learned all samurai actions and traits to level 50. Detailed descriptions can be viewed in the Actions and Traits window, accessed under Character in the main menu. You are ready then? Good, good. Let us take to the arena. So I find starting the classes that are a bit higher a little more challenging. Gather ye round and bear witness, for another brave challenger has appeared. Next to face Musosai, Swordmaster of the Far East, we have an itinerant adventurer. I have no idea what that word is. Hopefully I'm not rusty with my samurai skills, because I haven't played it for a while. Hold it right there! No one gets to take down the old bastard except me, Beryl, the last standing, Scourge of the Sands. You made a fool of me earlier. But this time there will be no tricks. This time I fight with my own sword, not that pathetic excuse for a needle you handed me. What's this? Boneheaded Berold, who was so roundly trounced but moments ago, has invaded the Blood Sands. Apparently they all find that amusing. For those who came in late, he's the disgraced gladiator who was cast out of the Colosseum for, and I paraphrase, being an all-around odious brute. The rules were plain and you agreed to them. There were no tricks. Shut your mouth and fight me again! Such eagerness for blood. The warriors of the slander has naked blades. Teehee. Bye-bye, sword. I'll get you next time! Run away! Run away! Well, that was interesting. And with that distraction out of the way, we may continue where we left off. It begins. How will this challenger fare against the enigmatic elder? Now then, let us see how well you wield the katana. Come at me with all your might. Good, precise movements. And if you see the combos there have gotten that, there's no need to hold back. And then there's also other combos. Yes, such your blades and strength and unleash. Then there's this one. Damage over time. And then with 2 combos, there's this ranged attack. Impressive, a technique born of arduous trials, yet you've already made it your own. That will do. Victory is yours, young one. I think you just have to go through these combinations to defeat him. And the challenger wins! To draw forth such strength from the stone in so short a time, you are no ordinary woman. You're right, I'm an alt who has already done this. As promised, I shall bestow upon you the rarest of Hingan treasures, treading in the way of the samurai. What is the matter? Our techniques are not found in this land, hence the great worth. As my pupil, you would train under my watchful eye and learn even the most, puissant of my techniques. Why, you lying jerk! Oh, he's back. All the fighting, and there wasn't even one coin in it? What's this? Boneheaded Burlow is back, and this time he's brought friends. This man doesn't know when to give up. You got a problem? Come down here and say it! At no point was it said that the treasure is an object, let alone coin. Besides, winning it was well beyond you. Shut the hells up. This time I'll show you my true strength. Your strength lies in numbers, 'twould seem. Very well, if you insist on another trouncing, then so be it. But know that this time 'tis not I who will deal it, but my pupil. Having seen your potential firsthand, he and his ilk ought to not pose you any trouble. But what? Fine, Sensei. Whoever she is, take care of her too. Turns out I'm not so rusty, so Oh dear, this isn't the script. The duel has become a free-for-all, and it's the challenger against all. Last standing, no one takes turns. Anyway, so there's also these ranged skills. The flower petals. And this. Now I don't need to have to deal with that one. I forgot how much I like samurai. Bloodly, hopeless, the lot of you! Let's see how your puny sword faces against an axe or two. if you want something done right, then you just run away and never do it. No one beats me in the Colosseum. No one. Oh, Beryl joins his own fight. Finally! Oh, I guess I can't do that. Oops, and I broke my own combination. So there's also an added bonus to doing that combination first, is that it gives you a speed boost. Sod, I'm gonna make you hurt, old man. It's the last thing I do. Yarg! Let me say so. Musasai is just standing there. You're done? Then allow me. Ha 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 ha! Not even worth drawing my blade. Well fought. Well fought, young one. I have seen all I need to see. And the winner is the challenger! What fearsome fighter! See Samurai! Let's give her a rousing applause! Yeah. Amusing stuff. This is the entrance to the Hypergun. Anyhow, talking to Musosai. Forgive me, I know it was wrong to force that fight upon you, and yet I find I do not regret having done so. For it has reaffirmed beyond any doubt the promise I had glimpsed in you. Long did I search in my native land for a pupil, but I found none fit to be a vessel for my knowledge. The problem, I concluded, lay in my people's way of thinking, the zeal with which they uphold tradition to the detriment of all oh shoot, I clicked again. The zeal with which they uphold tradition to the detriment of all else. So it was that I set forth for a new land, this Ayer's Ear. I placed myself in the midst of your most able swordsmen, offering myself up as a spectacle in hopes of finding a worthy soul. And find her I did, in you. Now I realize how all this may appear to you. I could be but a stranger or old fool spouting nonsense, but I am well past caring about appearances. I speak with all earnesty when I say that there is none other than to whom I would pour my knowledge. And so I ask you, will you consent to being my pupil? Yep. Ah, words cannot well express my joy. From this moment on, we are master and student. Now then, I would know your name, but by what are you called? Celebrian. 'Tis a fine name. Without further ado, Celebrian, we shall commence your training. Pray join me at the nearby tavern, the Slick Hand. And by Slick Hand, he means the quicksand. You're so silly. I shall begin at the very beginning. In the distant past, Higashi underwent a period of strife during which numerous opposing factions vied for supremacy, the Age of Blood. In this age, full many took to battle with katana in hand, and in the crucible of war our art was forged, the way of the samurai. Eventually, the realm was unified under one banner, and peace reigned once more. The people set aside their katana, save for we samurai, who continue to wield it as a symbol of authority. And with that authority comes a grave responsibility, protecting the peace. To ensure that the Age of Blood is never repeated, we samurai seek out the wicked and bring them to account. In so doing, we ward off chaos and preserve order in the realm. Such is our calling. Higashi, or Heir's Ear, it matters not where we are. This calling guides as always. To that end, we shall journey the land, you and I, on a quest to right wrongs. As one who has grasped the foundations of our art, it is your surest path to mastery. Our efforts begin in this very city. I shall cast about for evil that has taken root here, and then we may proceed to excise it. Well now, that certainly got exciting quick, but with some even quicker thinking, I managed to set up a wager and turn in a tidy profit. Momozigo, I owe you a debt of gratitude. Thanks to you, I have found my pupil at long last. I pray that you will live comfortably with your winnings. Actually, I had a mind to join you. Wherever you go, I sense that coin will follow. And besides, it seems you're willing to root out evil in our fair city. If so, you do well to have me along. With my connections, I can procure the information you're like to need. Then there's the small matter of your complete and utter lack of knowledge of Eorzea. There is that indeed. Had fate not seen fit to unite us, I never would have found my way here from Cluster Bay. And I wouldn't be standing here breathing. If anyone knows anything, it's me. You saved me from those cutthroat bandits, and when I tried recruiting them for the Colosseum. Terribly reckless in hindsight. As for you, my friend, to be marked out by old Musasai himself, you must be made of uncommon stuff indeed. Not to put the pressure on, but I have the highest hope for you. And here we are then. I shall undertake my search for Momozigo's help. Until such time as there are developments, pray continue honing your newfound skills. And the next quest is not available until level 52. I had to check because I couldn't remember. And I'm just gonna stick with my ninja there. Alrighty, so I have the quests in Thanalan. And I actually forgot there was a quest over here, so I'm going to teleport to the horizon quickly and pick that one up. And there's also the other one there, which I will also pick up. And then we will head over to Camp Drybone. So there's a quest over there, but I'll pick it up right now. Valiant Heart. The realm of Eorzea is filled with countless mysteries, but there is always one which Valiant Heart wishes to solve. Elements? Wheels? Bah! It's gibberish! Utter gibberish! As I live and breathe, a warrior of light! I haven't seen your like in years. Not since bloody cart snow, certainly. I see. You refuse to confirm or deny my assessment? Keeping a low profile, are we? Very well, I shall speak of this to no one. By the by, my name is Valiant Heart. A pleasure to meet you, my lady. Ah, look at us, two veterans burdened with experiences beyond the common manskin. I say we should be friends, you and I. To that end, I shall share with you my reason for being here, and in so doing, deepen our bond. Tell me, have you heard of Winebod? He was an explorer of some renown 10 years ago, though he regrettably retired and passed on not long ago. It is said that he discovered a treasure worth 100 million gil. That's right, 100 million gil! Mindbod called it the most precious secret of Lalafuto III, who was Sultan of Beladia some 700 years ago. Just think what we might do with such a treasure. I say we, for should you aid me in your search, I would gladly share the spoils. What say you? And should you choose to undertake this quest, you will receive no guidance from the journal or the duty list. You will need to read the text carefully and decipher the clues to determine your next course of action. Moreover, it may be unwise to rely on other adventurers for assistance, as their clues and objectives may differ from yours. The path your quest may take and the rewards you may receive are unknown. Yet, knowing this, will you follow in the footsteps of Winebod and seek out the treasure of Lalafuto III? Yep. Of course you will. Only a great fool would turn her back on the phenomenal wealth and everlasting glory. Now then, to the task at hand. Upon the statue of the Silent King is writ a message, left to us by Winebod himself, which I believe will lead us to the treasure. Alas, it is encoded, and deciphering it is no small feat. See for yourself. I have only finished the first passage. What is worse, the contents are nigh unintelligible. It appears to be a riddle, but beyond that I cannot say, and so I would turn to you. If you solve the riddles I decipher, then together we can claim the treasure of Lalafuto III. A simple arrangement, yes? Then let us begin at once. Look to the statue for the first riddle. Winebod message. Carved upon the statue is a series of strange characters. Next to them, written in chalk, you find Valiant Heart's translation. Ren flows, bitels, fire, lightning, water, earth, ice, wind. The wheel must turn anew. And so I actually cheated, if you will, and went to Wikipedia and found the answers to this riddle because I was unfamiliar with the game. And while I did want to try it, I was clearing up my journal because I had so many quests. Had so many quests. So I was trying to clear it up and decided to do it just to get it over and done with because I knew it was going to take me a very, 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 very long time as it was. I kind of remember how to do this quest, but I will get to it some other time, and I'm probably going to cheat again. Nedrick appears concerned about your equipment. How fares the adventuring of late? Your gear holding up against the rigors of the trade? Make no mistake, my friend, the quality of your weapon may well prove the difference between life and death. If you're serious about such things, there's someone I can introduce you to. Her name is Rowena, and she is a collector of all manner of rare artifacts. She just might have something in her stock to suit your martial prowess. Rowena used to do business in Ulda, but has since relocated to Revenant's Toll, so as to be nearer to the ancient ruins from which she derives her livelihood. Should you ever have reason to go there, you do well to pay her a call. And that basically tells us what we already did with the Ironworks gear, but also this is for your main hand, and as well, I'm gonna switch to my gladiator or paladin. Cheapers, it's not a gladiator for some time now. Cool. And where am I going? I'm going up here. I need to head over there. But this is for your weapon and shield. And I don't think they're better than the Ironworks, but I could be mistaken. It's been a very long time. But I'm not sure. But anyway, this is us introducing ourselves to Rowena. A friend of Nedrick's, are you? Then you must be an adventurer of some skill. My business relies on capable people such as you. As a gesture of goodwill, I'm going to share with you a morsel of information. There's this bloke named Gerald, making his living in weapons and armor and whatnot. They say his skill is the finest in all the realm. Might be as it's gone to his head, though. Folks don't take to the man, if you get my meaning. Oh, he likes to drink and all. Putty Byra got himself in the forge, though. As a young lad, he was cast out on his ear by his master for the crime of crafting finer wares, and that while his drunk. Ever since, he's roamed here and there, earning his keep day to day. I have known Geralt ever since I landed in this business. Ain't seen him for a while, though. And the last time I did, the old fool had tears in his eyes and snot dripping from his nose. Falling on hard times, he said. Asked for a bit of coin to tide him over. Never paid me back, neither. Couldn't say for sure where he is now. Seemed to remember hearing he was in the Black Shroud putting up at Hurstmill or some such place. Might do well to commission his work. He'll even reforge the relics of old if you make it worth his while. And there ain't no other in Eorzea as can do that. If it's relics you care to know about, I've a promise of payment what might catch your fancy. It don't look like much, but it'll get old Geralt to fire up his forge, that much I promise. And there we got promise of payment. But we will firstly... Obviously we still have that dungeon there. We will head to Camp Drybone, turn in some of those quests. Yeah, and as I said, there's like an assortment of quests all over the place, so obviously you see there was the Revenant Toll quests, then the quests here, and the quests there, and I think there's some sort of order to the madness, but I haven't figured it out yet. Anyway, so I need to head up here. And so we're going to swap to the Red Mage. Slabran, there you are. I would introduce you to Father Elude, but I believe the two of you are already acquainted. Xurin has told me a tale of nefarious spellcasters in their attempt to kidnap two young girls, and you wish to ask if this thaumaturgical cabal is known to me, yes? There are several such cults which come to mind, but I must have more detail. You say each member shared some rather unusual traits? Not one word spoken over the entire exchange, yet one shift in expression when I urged them to yield. Each of them also appeared branded with some manner of tattoo, a sigil pulsing with arcane energy. An evil practice. Such cursed sigils are known to destroy the will of the bearer, resulting in a biteable puppet which acts in much the manner you have described. There is no salvation for such wretched creatures. Then we must seek the fiends who pull their strings. Pray learn what you can of this cabal and its purpose, Father. Slabran, we have another task to attend to. Might I suggest some light stretching before you step outside? You'll soon understand why. You have learned all the Red Mage blah 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 blah. Anyway, and we'll talk to Elude here. Good evening to you, Celebrian. Elfino told me to expect you. Now you are doubtless eager to ask me certain questions. Before you do, I must stress that I myself did not see Flihamin, though I very much wish I had. I merely hearkened unto the tale of a mourner who came to stay with us. He is still here if you wish to hear it for yourself. You will find him in the Leech Yard, I should think. And speak to the Red Mage Fester. And this will be interesting because, as I said a moment before, and by a moment I mean a few minutes, I'm not very good at Red Mage. Did you notice we were being followed, Celebrian? The very cabal we were investigating seems to have taken an interest in us. What? I sense an ambush in the offing. Do they seek to silence us, perhaps? Well, let them try. This will be the perfect opportunity for you to test your newly acquired skills. But first, a brief lesson. The Red Mage's spells belong to two distinct schools, rooted as they are in the ancient discipline of black and white magic. Intertwined, they form the solid core of red magic, and through the balance of casting of both disciplines, can a Red Mage build this foundation higher and higher. When your strength has reached its peak, this is when you lunge forward, and then unleash the energies thumbing within your blade, and then you leap away, returning to the first step. It is a dance, my friend. Come out, wherever you are. We have no intention of running or hiding from you. I wear a sword, as you see, but I'm not partial to violence. Is there no chance we might attempt a parley in lieu of bloodletting? Nope. Okay. How unsettling. Well, Slytherin, it seems you will have your battle. Remember what I have taught you. That I'm gonna suck and we're all gonna die? So basically with the Red Mage, it's like it's close slash casting, and I'm just gonna be terrible at it, so that skill is to go closer, and then this is the only combination that I know of. And then there's this, backs you up, and of course I can't because it's as I mentioned, I'm not very good at this. I see the skills are all over the place. And then there's some cast times that are longer unless you get a certain combination on or some sort. Don't follow this as a good guide of how to do the Red Mage because it's not. I need to play this one more and actually figure out where all the skills were. Like, I know these three are right from where I would normally have them. It's not something I usually do. I'll just try to use some of the various skills here. And as you can see, there's some dialogue there. I'm probably not going to read it. I do like this skill though. That's kind of cool. And as you can see, my balance is terrible there, but as long as we're dead. These puppets must have a leader lurking nearby. Let us take the battle to our ambushers, shall we? But before we resume the hunt, let's be sure of your technique. As a Red Mage, you are capable of casting 2 spells in rapid succession using what is known as the dual cast effect. Intone a short spell and you will find that a lengthy incantation can now be cast in an instant. Take advantage of this technique to bombard your foes with arcane destruction. And this is why I suck. I haven't quite mastered which skills are the short and which are the long and which ones to use to be able to use the do cast effect. And as I said, that's why I suck. Your spells, black and white magic, something, something, something. What have we here? A wayward bob of aether. So I think I want to use this skill, and then this skill. No, that didn't do it either. Okay. What about this one? I'll figure this out. Okay, so this one is a white skill. I don't know how to use it though, because it's like combination. I don't know. I don't get it, guys. And there's a bunch of text dialogue. I will leave that up to you guys to read. really need to look up a guide for this job. I know Rihanna knows how to do this, and he's probably laughing at how terrible I am. Shh. I had figured out to some degree, but that was on my old computer, and as I mentioned back when I had changed computers, all the save slots and skills positioning is not where it used to be. So yeah. And I think that's it for this duty. Oh no, we're not done yet. Pay attention, Slubbering. And nope, not done yet. Are we oh, I see. We're chasing the follow the sphere. Will lead us to the source of the this ambush. Empty arc mages. Oh, I'll stand behind you. Thank you. What are we doing? Oh, I'm supposed to move forward? Are we frozen or something? Either follow, gather some dark danger, Ranger. Counter the another realm, accept the feast of souls, many lives, blah 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 stuff. I just suck, so we'll leave it at that. It's a Cerberus. He sacrificed himself to that demon god just to kill us? I'd be flattered if I wasn't so horrible. I wear those fangs. Did I mention I suck and that I'm probably gonna die? Keep your distance from something the ether flow thing. Stay away from that. Did I mention how much I suck? No? I'm getting teeny. I'm so short and tiny. Did I mention how much I suck? Oh, this is actually pretty awful. I really have no idea what I'm doing. It's kind of quite sad, actually. Yay, we're done. Well done, Slubbering. You have exceeded my expectations, which is a fortunate thing, for I did not anticipate the arrival of that fearsome hound. These mages were willing to forfeit their own lives to ensure that we lost ours. Do you see the brand on her left cheek? This is the cursed sigil which stole her will and left her vulnerable to the most heinous of commands. Our ambushers were young men and women, every one, all transformed into mindless pawns by some hidden master. And this master has shown no compunction against sacrificing pieces that outlived their usefulness. No, this cannot stand. Heed me, Slebrin. You have begun your education in red magic, but there is much more I would teach you. Come, let us return to the Leech Yard. So I have determined that I hadn't paid a... Oops. Oh, nope, that's for a different quest. I'll get to that after in a moment. I've determined that I forgot how interesting the storyline of this is actually. Which is kind of unfortunate. Anyway. Know you the history of these graves? The church's Leech Yard is the final resting place for many victims of the Seventh Umbral Calamity. Red magic was conceived to stem such tides of destruction, in an age where the abuse of sorcery flooded the world with death. Its distinction from early disciplines is key. Whilst practitioners of black and white magic draw upon ambient aether, a red mage weaves her spells using only the reserves of mana which she was born. In the era in which red magic was created, to do otherwise was forbidden. To manifest more powerful effects, the first red mages adopted a method by which precise sword techniques would harness and amplify the energy of their spoken incantations, the mage's own physical form serving as an arcane accelerator, an ingenious way of preserving their self-imposed limitations. Understand that the blade we wield is not simply a weapon, it is the focus of all our efforts to lessen strife and suffering. Every generation of red mage is part of an unending battle. We are soldiers who fight for those enduring violence and subjugation, the bulwark against the unkind vagaries of fate. Vagaries, vagaries, whatever. 20 years ago, I joined the revolutionaries in Alamigo and learned red magic alongside like-minded companions. We formed the Crimson Duelists, and together we rose up against the tyranny of the Mad King Theodoric. We were crushed. Of all the duelists, only I survived to watch our homeland languish under the rule of imperial invaders. Even after leaving Alamigo, I never ceased fighting for its liberation, and when I learned of the calamity, of the threat to all the lands of Eorzea, I allied myself with the valiant scholars of Charlian. In the end, I was unable to protect my homeland or halt the approach of fiery disaster, but never once in all these years have I betrayed the oath the duelists swore to champion the weak with heart and steel. Such is the nature of the magic. You will learn from this idealist fool if you would master this art. However, then my road shall become your road for the duration of your studies. I will remain here at the church for the time being, and be a pest to the good Father Iluid, until we uncover the origins of this cult. Your only chore shall be to reflect upon the lessons of this day, and prepare for our next encounter. And so that is it with the red mage, and I'm gonna talk to the Leech Yard. Actually, we're gonna leave that there for now, and we'll pick up where I'm at, and hopefully it's a little more organized and not so much chaos in the next video. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching.